This is Evening News for Tuesday, February 18, 2014. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. Red Thread decries Ghana's magistracy training. Gang episode now employed by NAPS. Parents of assaulted child speaks out. Rohi mulls legal action against APNU's Joseph Harmon. And PAHO WHO new country representative accredited. And now for the news in detail. Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi is consulting his lawyers over assertions made by a Partnership for National Unity Member of Parliament, Joseph Harmon, that he might have been on the investigation of a possible drug link. Svetlana Marshall has the details.
A Partnership for National Unity MP Joseph Harmon had suggested that Minister Clement Rohi might have been investigated by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration under the Federal Bureau of Investigations over drug links. While speaking on a popular newscast, Harmon suggested that Rohi was not told about the FBI's investigation because he himself might have been on their investigation.
Yes, where he said that I must have known about the investigation because they were going on for 2 years, and I must have known about it. And maybe the reason why I have not been told about these investigations by the DA or whoever was investigating it is because I myself am being investigated. That's what he said. So I'm going to take that up. I'm going to take it up because Harmon is not going to make statements like that and get away with it.
He also bashed the leader of the opposition, David Granger, who recently told the press that the People's Progressive Party's government is not serious in its endeavor to combat drug trafficking. A 2013 U.S. report indicated that Guyana continues to play a major role in the trafficking of narcotics.
It appears to me from a statement like that he appears to be the only serious one. Or the APNU appears to be, it appears as though they're the only ones that are serious in Guyana about fighting drug trafficking. I think the members of the task force would find that extremely revolting.
The Guyana government, through the Foreign Affairs Ministry, has written the U.S. Embassy asking for help with regards to the provision of information on the trafficking of cocaine from Guyana to the Italian drug mafia in New York. In addition to the U.S., the Home Affairs Minister said he strongly believes that the European Union office in Ghana should be written on the matter, considering that Italy forms part of the EU. Recently, reports have linked Guyana to the New York drug mafia following a major drug bust in the U.S. It is alleged that Guyanese have aided in a plot to traffic more than 500 kilograms of cocaine in Italy and the U.S. According to reports, 24 persons have been arrested in raids conducted by the FBI, with 2 additional persons being sought. 17 persons have been detained in Italy and 7 in New York, the Federal Bureau of Investigations said.
The employers of the babysitter who was recently sentenced to 5 years in prison pleading guilty to assaulting their daughter have come to speak out. Details in this report. The parents of the child involved in the incident have spoken out against reports in some sections of the media that suggest that they somehow influenced the sentencing of the babysitter, Fatima Martin. The mother of the child explained that contrary to reports in some sections of the media, they did not assault the babysitter after she confessed to strangling her daughter. The father of the child alleges that the babysitter indicated to them that she wanted to kill their child. The babysitter also told the parents that she was not completely aware of what she was doing when she committed the act. The parents said after the babysitter confessed to committing the act, the police were called in and she was taken into police custody. The 19-year-old babysitter, Fatima Martin, was sentenced to 5 years in prison for abusing the 1-year-old baby. She is now making counter-allegations that she was beaten by the parents, who are both attorneys at law. Martin, who is an Amerindian and hails from Lethem Region 9, was sent to prison for 60 months by Magistrate Suanna Lovell for assaulting the child who was left in her care. Martin was hired in November of 2013 by the couple. She was told that she would get $30,000 a month for babysitting the child. However, Martin is now claiming that she was forced to do dishes and laundry among other house chores for $7,000 weekly. Several human rights activists and groups on Monday protested outside the Ghana International Conference Center, where a sitting of the Caribbean Court of Justice was being held over what they say was the draconian sentencing of the 19-year-old woman. For the News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. A new Pan-American Health Organization and World Health Organization PAHO WHO representative was today accredited when he presented his letter of credence to the Minister of Foreign Affairs Carolyn Rodrigues-Burkett. Dr. William Adu Crow's appointment of the new representative will allow for continuity in technical cooperation programs between Guyana and PAHO WHO. Dr. Adu Crow brings with him a wealth of knowledge and experience in the areas of HIV and AIDS, family and public health, maternal and child health, and reproductive health. The new country representative joined the organization in 2001 and served in various positions while being assigned in Washington, D.C., Barbados, the Philippines, and New York during the years 2001 to 2010. He is a Ghanaian national who holds a Doctor of Public Health degree and a Master's in Public Health in Maternal and Child Health Program Management. PAHO and WHO's engagement with Ghana dates back to 1967 with the establishment of its country office. Ever since, Ghana has benefited from several technical cooperation programs. Former local government minister Ganga Prasad, whose Member of Parliament seat is in the balance, has landed himself a job with the Ministry of Health, working with the National AIDS Programme Secretariat, NAPS. The details in this report. Ganga Prasad had resigned as a minister, citing personal reasons. At the time, however, he did not indicate whether he will resign also as a parliamentarian. The Evening News was told that for the next 3 months, Prasad will coordinate a survey on behavioral change for the National AIDS Programme Secretariat, NAPS. Prasad recently attended a workshop hosted by NAPS where he was named as one of the senior functionaries. On Monday, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Clement Rohi, said it is unclear whether Prasad will return to the National Assembly in the capacity of a Member of Parliament. Rohi said the party is considering his replacement. Prasad tendered his resignation as a government minister in January amid allegations of misconduct. Prasad has shocked the nation when he announced that he had tendered his resignation, citing personal reasons and additional responsibilities. Reflecting on his tenure as minister, Prasad opined that the ministry would have made tremendous strides. According to him, he has worked to strengthen the local government department centrally and regionally. He pointed out that the local government department now gives support to neighborhood democratic councils, NDCs, and municipalities across the country. Prasad had pledged his continued support to the People's Progressive Party, PPP. Prasad was among 19 ministers appointed as cabinet members by President Donald Ramotar on December 5 of 2011. Previously, he served as the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Education Ministry, and the Local Government Ministry, respectively. Opposition leader David Granger has said while the resignation came as a surprise, Prasad had done much damage. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. Join us after these messages for more of the Evening News. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. The alleged negligence of doctors, nurses, and an overdose resulted in another maternal death in the country. Gabriel Patram explains.
33-year-old Petra Blair of Charlotte Street Border, Georgetown, died on February 11, 2014 at the St. Joseph Mercy Hospital after giving birth to a healthy baby girl. Petra's death adds to the increasing number of maternal deaths in Guyana. According to a reliable source from the Health Ministry, the original diagnosis of Petra Blair was termed pregnancy in early labor, meaning that her baby was coming earlier than the expected time. The report also stated that after delivery, she lost 2 liters of blood and there was nothing that they could have done to stop the bleeding. Hence, the woman died on February 11th at 2:18 hours in the intensive care unit at the private medical hospital. According to the medical information, Petra was given an alleged overdose of a drug which was supposed to ease her pain. The woman's husband told this newscast in a telephone interview that on February 9, 2014, his wife went into labor at their home and was taken to the St. Joseph Mercy Hospital where she was admitted. He stated that he was checking on his wife regularly, and after his wife gave birth to their daughter, she began to bleed and was rushed into surgery. However, on Tuesday morning, he was told by the doctors that his wife had died while they were trying to stop the bleeding. He further elaborated that he has written to the Guyana Medical Council to have them investigate his wife's case. Petra Blair leaves to mourn her husband and 3 children. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Barry Ramsaran in a statement today expressed his sympathies to the family. He also noted that for the year 2014, his ministry is looking to put more systems in place to help with the reduction of maternal deaths. This newscast made several attempts to gather a comment from the administration of the St. Joseph Mercy Hospital on this matter, but efforts proved futile. For the evening news, I'm Gabriella Patram.
In this report, you'll hear that the Health Ministry, in collaboration with Guyana Help the Kids, today hosted a workshop to engage members of various health institutions to discuss ways of advancing neonatal intensive care services in Guyana. The details in this report.
Health Minister Dr. Barry Ramsaran today announced that the Ministry of Health will be working in partnership with the Guyana Help the Kids Foundation in an effort to reduce the rate of infant mortality in Guyana. In an effort to make this reduction possible, Chief of Pediatrics of the Humber River Regional Hospital, Dr. Narendra Singh, stated that the organization is working to develop a neonatal intensive care unit at all of the regional hospitals here. These hospitals will be equipped with state-of-the-art tools to train pediatric doctors in postgraduate residency programs and to establish an infection control program while providing biomedical support.
So when we initiated the program, we developed a true partnership, and the partnership said that Guyana Help the Kids was responsible for doing some things, the ministry and GPHC was responsible for doing other things. And it's been a truly effective partnership. Just to review with you very briefly, one of the things that I said to my good friend Mr. Khan is, if you would build out a neonatal intensive care area for us, give us the space, build it out, paint it, put in air, put in oxygen, and air condition it, Guyana Help the Kids was going to provide all of the equipment for the neonatal intensive care unit. And we've done that to date.
He stated that the foundation has thus far donated all necessary equipment, sponsors and facilitate training, and is providing guidance so that the Ministry of Health by 2016 is able to effectively sustain its own neonatal intensive care services NICS without the help or interference of the organization. He also noted that with the development of the NICS, infants whose chances of survival in the past were slim are now able to be kept alive and healthy.
This is what the NICU looks like today. If you keep in mind the pictures just a few slides before and this one, there's been a huge transformation. But it's not only in the physical equipment, it's really about the people, which is the doctors who now have the specialized skills to use this equipment. It's about the nurses who are at the bedside 12 hours of the shift. They now know all the signs, and they now have the skill set to be able to monitor these babies as closely as possible.
The neonatal intensive care services have thus far been launched at the Georgetown Public Hospital, the Linden Hospital Complex, and the New Amsterdam Hospital. It is expected that the services will be launched at the Sadi Hospital and the West Demerara Hospital later this year. For the evening news, this is Gomati Gangadin.
The 2014 Mayor and City Council of Georgetown budget is in limbo. Let's find out why in this Gabrielle Patram report.
Local Government and Regional Development Minister Norman Whitaker says that he will not approve of the Mayor and the City Council's budget for 2014 based on a number of reasons. Whitaker told this newscast that not only is the budget a deficit, it also lacks the assent of Georgetown Mayor Hamilton Green and Deputy Mayor Patricia Chase Green. He said that the budget was submitted with an expected revenue totaling some $2.1 billion and $2.3 billion in expenditure. The minister said that he is not willing to assent to any budget that has a deficit unless the monies recorded in the deficit are used in the occurrence of an emergency. He noted too that there were some provisions in the budget for local government elections, a provision which according to him should not be there. Whitaker also stated that his staff is currently going through the council budget and they should expect an official response from the ministry by tomorrow afternoon. The City Council's budget was recently submitted after 2 walkouts were staged by Town Clerk Carol Suba, who claims that she was disrespected by the Deputy Mayor.
Georgetown Mayor Hamilton Green had pointed out that the proposal lacked depth and did not cater for the duties and responsibilities of the municipality. The mayor said that, among other things, the budget does not cater for the ratings appeal panel to ensure citizens' redress and to further reduce excuses for the non-payment of taxes. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
People's Progressive Party Civic General Secretary Clement Rohi has condemned the Partnership for National Unity, APNU, and the Alliance for Change, AFC, for apparently misleading Ghana into believing that Regions 7 and 8 have been neglected by the Donald Ramotar administration. Rohi told reporters on Monday that the PPPC has noted the opposition's move to grossly misinform and mislead Guyanese and the world at large. APNU, during a recent press conference, said poor health services, deteriorating roads, and an education system that leaves much to be desired are among key issues plaguing the Kayuni-Mazaruni region, Region Number 7. On another occasion, the coalition contended that the two secondary schools which serve the Patara-Siparuni district, Region 8, are overcrowded and lacked certified teachers. According to Rohi, investigations were launched into the allegations peddled by the opposition, and they have revealed that development activities are ongoing in both regions, while corrective steps are being taken to address existing problems. More news still ahead. Welcome back, you're watching the Evening News. Director of Red Thread Karen D'Souza says that Ghana's magistracy is seriously lacking proper training. More in this report.
Karen D'Souza blasted the judicial system, which she claims is corrupt. D'Souza said that training is key to enhancing the work undertaken by persons working in the local judicial system.
The training of the magistracy is seriously lacking, that the sense of power, I guess, and privilege that magistrates might have is not tempered by regulations, by guidelines, by monitoring. The law in modern times is supposed to protect all equally, and it's supposed to be applied equally to all. And that's certainly not what we're seeing in this case.
D'Souza believes that government should invest more in training persons within the judicial system and keep them abreast with the law. For instance, the Red Thread director said that the training of persons in the local judicial system and police officials on the Sexual Offences Act is another issue that needs to be addressed.
I think increasingly what we're seeing is the abuse of power by those who have it, including those who are supposed to be responsible for the protection of the citizenry widely.
Red Thread for the past several years has been urging government to do more training with various groups so as to allow them to understand what the law provides for its citizenry and their role in executing their functions within the law. Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary Justice Kyle Singh has said that both magistrates and prosecutors must equip themselves with the requisite skills that will make them more effective in executing their duties. The acting chancellor said that this is essential to ensuring better legal services at the magisterial level, while calling for more training to be provided to these legal professionals. Singh added that he has promoted educational training programs in various areas of the law, particularly with respect to firearms, narcotics offenses. Magistrates and prosecutors, he said, should be constantly trained in this and other technical areas to make more effective decisions as it pertains to the law. Meanwhile, only last week, former Chancellor of the Judiciary Cecil Kennard also made statements to that effect. Kennard stated that magistrates and judges are being admitted to the bench when they don't have the requisite training and experience to effectively carry out their duties.
A construction worker was on Monday morning beaten with a rolling pin and brutally stabbed to death at his friend's house at Rosignol, West Coast, Berbice. Dinesh Kelvin Harilal, 20, of Lot 38B, Woodley Park, West Coast, Berbice, was allegedly stabbed 7 times with a kitchen knife and beaten in the head with a rolling pin. The knife was later found hidden in a Hindu temple owned by the suspect, while the rolling pin was found on the floor in the kitchen area. The suspect, Sotrahan Blue Madre, reportedly confessed to the killing after he was interrogated by police ranks. He is expected to be charged with the capital offense of murder. With the ongoing protests taking place in neighboring Venezuela, the country's ambassador to Ghana, Reina Margarita Aritia Diaz, has denounced the action, saying that it is being fueled by the opposition and the United States of America. Alexis Rodney has more.
The massive protest in the oil-rich country began last Wednesday. Since then, 3 persons have lost their lives, with considerable damages being done to several public buildings, including the office of the Attorney General. During a press conference held at the Venezuela's embassy in Georgetown earlier today, Diaz said that the opposition party has always been working against the government. However, this time the issue is quite troubling.
The siege of the state television station,
entre otras acciones,
among other actions,
como la quema de vehículos policiales,
such of the burning of police vehicles,
que perturbaron la tranquilidad de los ciudadanos caraqueños,
which disturbed the peace of the Caracas citizens
durante los últimos días,
during the last few days,
y en algunas otras ciudades del país,
and in other cities of the country.
Por esta razón queremos denunciar ante la comunidad internacional.
For this reason, we want to denounce before the international community
a quienes reiteradamente han venido realizando acciones desestabilizadoras en el país.
To those who repeatedly have been doing those destabilizing actions all over the country.
Diaz, with the aid of an interpreter, Liliana Tejeda, said that the actions by the opposition members are receiving full support from the U.S. government.
All those actions are supported by the United States.
Apoyados por los Estados Unidos.
Supported by the United States.
A través del Departamento de Estado.
Through the U.S. Department of State.
Quienes han financiado y brindado apoyo en el entrenamiento de organizaciones juveniles de la sociedad civil,
which have been funded and supported the training of youth organizations and the civil society,
para ejercer acciones de violencia y pretender crear un caos,
to practice acts of violence and create a chaos,
en su empeño de salir de un gobierno que ha sido elegido democráticamente por la mayoría de los venezolanos y las venezolanas,
aiming to overthrow a government that have been democratically elected by the majority of the people of Venezuela.
According to her, the opposition claims that the violent acts being carried out are infiltrated by the national government, a claim she said is untrue. The Venezuelan envoy said that the U.S. government's interference in the country's affairs had forced the Venezuelan government to expel 3 U.S. diplomats. She accused them of taking actions to promote violent activities to generate chaos and distortion to the Venezuelan population. For the evening news, Alexis Rodney.
Residents of Lethem and neighboring communities can expect 24 hours of electricity with little or no power outages, Lethem Power Company Inc. Chairman John Macedo said, but some residents are still not satisfied. The last of 2 new 750 kVA generators was fully installed on Monday afternoon following the commencement of installation on Saturday. The gensets, valued at approximately $50 million, arrived in Lethem on Friday. The 2 generators will complement the 625 kVA, 750 kVA and 220 kVA generators that have been in operation for an extensive period. Join us after these messages for more of the news. Welcome back. The full court on Monday granted opposition leader David Granger leave to move to the appellate court to seek redress for a decision it made earlier this year to exclude him from the just completed 2012 budget cuts case. Should Granger succeed in his appeal, it creates a whole new dimension of the issue, with the budget just around the corner and the opposition intent on cutting the estimates. In a statement, the Partnership for National Unity, APNU, said on January 22, the opposition leader's attorney, Basil Williams, filed an application for leave to move to the Court of Appeal after the full court ruled that it had no jurisdiction in the matter of the striking out of Granger as a defendant by Acting Chief Justice Ian Chan in the budget cut case. The threat level at the Cheddi Jagan International Airport CGIA has lowered. Vanu Manichan has more.
The threat level at the Cheddi Jagan International Airport has lowered. This is according to Public Relations Officer of CGIA, Anika Edwards. In a release issued by CGIA on Monday, it was explained that despite the threat level being lowered, stringent security measures still remain in place so as to ascertain the security of passengers. Last week, a call was received at the Barbados office of Caribbean Airlines where the threat was delivered against a specific Caribbean Airlines flight scheduled for departure from Guyana on February 10th. Subsequent to that call, the airport had already put systems in place for emergencies. The release also noted that investigations are continuing in Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago as law enforcement officials attempt to apprehend the individual responsible for the threats, who, from earlier reports, had a Trinidadian accent. The Caribbean Airlines said that all scheduled flights originating from Guyana have processed without any delays or any incidents.
Meanwhile, TravelSpan promises to provide competitive prices to Guyanese travelers. Find out more in this Gabriel Patram report.
Director of TravelSpan Rob Bin says that the airline plans to make its airfares lower than its competitors in order to better serve the traveling Guyanese public. Bin told this newscast that when flying anywhere in the world, airlines officials are always praised for opening up business in Guyana, which will help to bring more competition to the air travel industry. Guyanese, he said, could be assured that TravelSpan will take into account what are the needs of the traveling public and will work towards satisfying those needs. Bin said many Guyanese travel to North America to visit family and friends, and the airline is therefore working to improve the travel for persons wishing to use the airline.
Every airline has several fares per flight, and they have what they call buckets. The cheaper buckets, the further out you book, and as they fill up, you step up kind of a ladder of more expensive fares. And so every airline looks at fares on every flight multiple times a day, and you see also what competitors are offering. And we try to keep our fares at a bucket lower than our competitors. So it depends on demand, how much the fare will be. It depends on the season. It depends on fuel price. But we try to keep our fares somewhat lower than our competitors. And again, it is always non-stop flights.
In 2013, Caribbean Airlines was the only carrier in Guyana, thus creating outrage among Guyanese traveling overseas. Many Guyanese had come out to voice their concerns publicly, saying that the prices were too high for them to afford. With TravelSpan being granted permission to fly direct to New York, ticket prices have reduced tremendously. TravelSpan therefore offers cheaper flights to New York and elsewhere against its competitors. For the Evening News, I'm Gabriela Patram.
The Culture, Youth and Sport Ministry today launched its third annual Children's Art Exhibition and Prize-Giving Ceremony at the National Library. The competition, which was open to children aged 4 to 17 years, received over 220 entries from across the country. Speaking with reporters, Michael Can, renowned storyteller and organizer of the event, said the ministry aims to cater for all the celebration of the country's Republic anniversary. The exhibition is open to the public and is expected to run until next Friday.
This is the third year we are having it, and this morning we had the opening of the exhibition and the prize-giving ceremony. Now the exhibition, the competition was open to children all over Guyana, and we had over 220 entries from various regions in Guyana, and they were judged by eminent judges who know art and child art, and these are the winners. So we had the opening up of the exhibition and the prize-giving ceremony. We had over 160 children here, and most of them received prizes as a result. I want to thank the Minister of Culture and Mr. Philbert Gajadar, who they were the brainchild behind this whole activity. And I like the direction it's going. Not everyone can jump behind the MASH ban on MASH Day. And MASH Romani now is taking a new momentum. You're catering for all aspects. Quite recently, we had a concert for the elderly where we catered for the shut-ins from the various homes. And now we're catering for children who will not be given, or who may not want to jump behind a MASH ban, to express themselves about how they feel about MASH.
The panel of judges at the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, today had its second sit-in where two cases were heard. The first case heard was Amin Trading versus Guyoil. Submissions were presented before the bench by the two parties. The other case was an application for special leave in a land dispute matter. The CCJ will continue its third and final day sit-in in Guyana with a special session in honor of outgoing CCJ Judge Justice Desiree Bernard. This will be a grand session held at the Guyana International Conference Center with various dignitaries expected to be in attendance. Kwesi Ace Edmondson was in the wee hours of Sunday evening bestowed with the title of Carib Soca Monarch 2014 after outshining his 13 other competitors. Bisham Mohammed was at the National Park and filed this report.
That was the reaction of the audience just after 4 hours on Sunday morning when Kwesi Ace Edmondson was crowned Soca Monarch 2014 with his tongue-licking performance to overthrow two-times monarch Jomo Primo. Edmondson performed his song Still in the Game and sealed the deal with his creative and poetic skills that had the crowd going wild.
But tonight you're really good men. I don't care how much money you spend. Big 3 minutes was with all of your friends. Last year I come and I give you a treat. Step out the stage, my name in the street. But this tonight you're going to get beat.
Immediately after being crowned the 2014 Soca Monarch, Edmondson said that his mission was accomplished after a carefully strategized plan.
I can't explain. First of all, just want to thank Ghana. Thanks theater people. You know, theater forever. Thanks everybody who voted for me, who loved the song. Big up God Mosey for encouraging me to enter the song. Thanks all the media houses that be playing the song stuff. This is great for me, honestly. Thanks Guyana. I'm feeling great. Basically, I've been viewing a whole lot of tapes. I've been watching the debut. We all know that Jomo is a champion. We can't run from that. Jomo is a champion. Big up Jomo. Big up Lil Red. Tremendous performance. Bones Man. Big up everybody. And I've been viewing tapes, watching them because I know who I gotta beat. So I've been watching him over and over and over and every single day. I've been watching him, so I know, you know what I gotta do. Do what he do and do what I do and merge it.
He also said that entering the competition, he sees Jomo Primo as his biggest rival, while revealing that he will not be participating in the competition in 2015.
I want to allow people like myself who be emerging, who are trying to emerge and come out like Lil Red. I mean, I never expected that from me, man. I want people like him to come out, like Kemi and these people, to do their thing, and you know. So I don't think I want to contest next year. Allow them. I think I'm gonna talk to Jomo and say, yo, let me rest. Help these people.
Coming in at second spot was Primo, who dished out On the Road. The overconfident soca sensation thought that he had a title in his pocket, but his performance lacked certain elements. In third spot was Bones Man, who was the first to launch attacks on fellow artiste as he dished out his popular song, Blow. Copying the fourth place was Jonathan Lil Red King with his song Who Are We, as he invaded the National Park Arena in grand style, creating a carnival-like atmosphere. Kemi, who performed Designated Whiner, was adjudged the best newcomer in this year's competition.
Get ready to wine. Get ready to wine. I don't feel party with the drinks in their hands. If you know wine, I don't care if it's somebody, man. I feel a real tight with the drinks in their hands. Right now it's a flower. I don't care what people say.
As the judges made their decision, guest artists Kes and the band, specifically lead singer Keys, had the audience in the palm of his hand with his excellent stage performance. But the night belonged to the winner of the 10th annual Carib Soca Monarch, Kwesi Ace Edmondson.
This competition divided in three. Me and Sumakala, the monarchy. She back in the game, we welcome she. She said that she come for take it from we. Hope she don't see my song as a miss. Last year she absent and she get missed. Mr. Limpy can help you with this.
Join us after these messages for your sport news. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport in your headlines. Tejaran Chandrapal stars again in Under-19 win. GDF Rugby Tournament on tomorrow. R&R 11-race cycling event built for Saturday. This segment of our news comes to you with the kind compliments of MacCorp.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. But that is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. MacCorp, let's build Guyana together.
And now for the news in detail. West Indies entered the quarterfinals of the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup 2014, beating Canada by 63 runs in a Group C fixture at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium, Nursery 1 in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. This was West Indies' second win of the tournament, and it finished second behind South Africa in Group C. It was led by Tejaran Chandrapal, who followed his 84 not out in a 167-run win over Zimbabwe with a 127-ball 93 that laid the platform for an eventual total of 289 for 4 in 50 overs. Chandrapal shared in a 62-run opening stand with Shimron Hetmyer, 39, and then added 95 with Jeremy Solanzo, 50. Nicholas Pooran then built on the foundation and attacked Canada's bowling, smashing 67 not out of 41 balls. Canada started its chase reasonably, but fell away at the end, losing 7 wickets for just 29 runs to be all out for 226 in 49.3 overs. Jerome Jones, Ray Jordan and Ramal Lewis took 2 wickets each for the West Indies. West Indies will now lead to Dubai to play in its quarter-final on February 23 against a team that tops Group B. The Ghana Defence Force, in celebration of its 48th anniversary, will be hosting a 7-a-side rugby competition today at its Camp Ayangana playfield. The day-night event will see Ghana's top clubs in the University of Ghana Wolves, the Hornets Rugby Club and Caribs and the GDF vying for the Champions Trophy. However, GDF team has been in top form of late, going undefeated in 2013 in the 7-a-side version of the competition. On the distaff side, the Hornets and Caribs would have gotten a chance to showcase their talent in the hope of developing the women's side of the game. The competition will begin at 17 hours and all spectators are advised to use the Eastern Gate. Admission is free. The cycling season is set to continue this Saturday with the 23rd annual R&R International sponsored 11-race program at the inner circuit of the National Park. The event is being held in observance of the country's 44th Republic anniversary and will get underway at 9 hours. The day's activities, which are being organized by national cycling coach Hassan Mohammed, will see seasoned campaigner Orlando Greaves looking to successfully defend the featured 35-lap schoolboys in invitational race. Greaves won last year's feature event in a time of 1 hour 15 minutes 43 seconds, but is expected to face competition in his defense of his title. Akeem Arthur won the juniors and juveniles 10-lap race last year in a time of 29 minutes 39 seconds, while Junior Niles and Ozai Macaulay will be looking to keep a hold on the veterans on the 1550 and upright titles respectively. Former cyclist and current managing director of R&R International, Jacob Rembrandt, will be on hand to assist in the presentation of prizes at the conclusion of both events. Remember, you can read about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times newspaper, which can be picked up from vendors across the country. Join us after these messages for your bridge reports.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. That is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Mark on. Let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Demo Harbour Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, February 19 at 5 hours for a period of 1.5 hours, and the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, February 19 at 8 hours 10 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Tuesday, February 18, 2014 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandon. Thanks for joining us.